Welcome everyone. Good evening. I kind of forgot what I normally do at the beginning of these, but there we go. We're here for a bit of Friday night action. And I was just thinking as the sequence was running there, I seen a new go fuck tweet on the timeline today. It was in, I'm sure it was in French. I had to translate it, but it was McBride had retweeted it, and it was somebody complaining, I think, about the button. Did you see that yourself, Harry?
No, when you said that though, I did see what you're on about, but somebody else, and I only know his name because he was battling me in the auctions earlier. His name's Wedge Gamer. I can't find his at right now, but he had a little
Oh,
go
was
fuck.
that? It was that tweet.
Yeah,
It was that
it
tweet.
was that. It
Sorry.
was about like Sorare auctioning cards and stuff like that, and it ended in obviously the famous GF. So I can't find it right now, but Wedge. I don't know what that. I
Found it.
don't think that is his at because I can't actually find
It
it.
is.
Maybe it is.
Yeah. You're right.
You
You've
got
named
him.
it, Harry. Exactly the one I thought it was.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So that was, I caught my eye. It's like, oh,
I think
back with a bang.
yeah, I was going to say like the GF has to be alone. Like it can't be surrounded by any other text or sentences. Like it has to be its own thing, doesn't it? And especially if you end in GF, like that seriously means what it's meant to.
Well, but also when I seen this, Harry, I thought, oh, Harry had a wee bit of fun with this himself because this is
Yeah,
one of your
I'm on
cards.
there. Although, mate, this guy's a hypocrite because he was fucking bidding himself. So I'm not having this. He was in there bidding against me for the Paddy McNair. I think he won the Paddy McNair. I could be wrong. And it was the maybe it wasn't the Maxi. I was on the Maxi as well, but I don't know if he actually ended up getting it. But regardless, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to believe there, but yeah.
Yeah, so nice way to start Friday off. No Friday night curse necessarily, but a wee bit of go fuck, a wee bit of GF at the beginning of it. So that's a good one. I can't remember the McBride one. I think it might have just been somebody talking about buttons or something, but I thought that was the one. But you've nailed it there with the Wedge Gamer. As it
What
were.
do you think about like for every show you have to start it with like a current GF, like one that
This one,
happened today?
yeah, aye, for
I
sure.
think that would be quite a nice like opener. It might not always be possible, but I do like that challenge.
So Spursy reckons it's been sponsored by Sorare Data. Again, I think there was some button pain today with the MLS influx.
Yeah, I heard about this. I did hear about this, to be fair, but yeah. Did you? Oh, I've had a bit of fucking go fuck, Quinny.
You have. Let's hear it.
My reward.
Oh,
Bad,
really?
bad,
Oh no.
like really bad. Like doesn't even get into the squad bad.
I won't spoil it because I'm sure there'll be a video coming out. I'll
No,
go and have a
I
nosy.
didn't even. I just opened it in the car, mate. I didn't like.
Ah,
It was a tier 2. Like I didn't have the most, the highest of expectations, but man, like complete zero. Hasn't played a first team game. Now, granted, he is highly rated as like a young keeper. I've kind of given obviously the position away, but Dennis Seaman, not to be confused with. Mate, what are we doing? People are paying 20 quid for him though, somehow.
interesting. If he did the old check the youth career move yet?
He's involved in the German under-20s and that. Yeah, like he's worth 1.3 million. He's never played a game and he's 19. So like, I'm not saying he isn't going to be good because apparently he's supposed to be quite good. But like, guess the. Oh no, actually, this wouldn't make any sense. But there was a Premier League player just above him, and I mean one place above him, right? In the pool, and he plays for Chelsea, and he's a very good player. Guess who that player was?
Levi Colwell.
No, midfielder. I'll narrow it for you.
Pedro Neto.
He's a forward, but fair.
Oh, I give up then.
What's his name? Caicedo.
Caicedo
Was one place above this guy in the pool.
I'd never have guessed Caicedo. Tier 2.
Yep.
Wow. And amongst where this guy is, that's crazy.
Literally one below, and I that kind of tells me now that I'm kind of done looking at like where cards are in the pool because
they're about
like that makes no sense. There's no way Caicedo's. I'm looking at the. Oh, let me get the pool up for you. Not that it really matters, but it gives us something to talk about, doesn't it?
Sure.
This is the pool. And weirdly, he wasn't even that far down. Look at this now.
Words up quickly. And then, there we go. Flip to you.
He is
60 merchant. Starts for fun. You know, like... Yeah, there he is. Wow.
Is that him there? Was he too? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Caicedo, what's going on there? Like, Casado's only 20 quid, to be fair. So, like, he actually is in that, like, let's just call it the 20 quid realm. But how Caicedo's by there makes no sense to me. Like, Frimmers, what's
Yeah.
Frimmers worth? Is he only 20 quid?
That'd be surprising, but...
Yeah, he is. 28. He's there or thereabouts.
Poor man's Grimaldo.
So, like, as far as like value goes, he's actually like not a million miles away from. Well, he's a million miles away from Caicedo, but like the rest of the lads in that like little realm here, the 20 quid mark, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't really complain if we're talking like pure value, which I guess what this goes down to. But geez,
Just one wild card in there.
Yeah,
Pino must be all right as well. Is he not worth a few bob?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But he's actually been okay recently. Yeah, wow. 84 res. Yeah, 25 quid. They're all in the same sort of category. Don't get me wrong, he's supposed to be highly rated, so it's one of them where like I'll probably have to just keep him and just pray to the gods that he actually has a rookie card from last season.
Cool.
Which I've been seeing people buy on I just had a look because like people are actually spending 20 quid on him like in the last day or so, which I found a bit like 7 hours ago, 20 quid. 3 days ago, 18 quid.
Yeah.
20. Yeah. But this is the rookie.
Backup keepers, Rookies as well.
Back up to the backup.
Yeah, it just takes a wee cheeky move to Bundy too, but...
No, it does. It does. It does smell like that maybe could happen potentially next year. And he's 19. Like, it's fine. But,
Like a wee Urbig in the making.
Yeah, baby Urbig. I'd take that.
Then he'll end up on the Leverkusen bench or something.
Making a tease for Wirtz and Frimmers.
That's a gutter. I was hoping you were going to get something good, especially for first, man. I know it's midweek, but first.
So, who do you think first won in Division 1 as a tier 1? I know that was a bit of a mouthful.
It has to be, like, it cannot be in the same realm as Seaman. I'm going to say...
Yeah, he starts. Like, he plays football games. He's not a...
Can you give me a league?
Can you give me a league? Yeah, Serie A.
Serie A, under 23. Ravella.
No. But I like the realm you're kind of in, but different position, just so I can move you closer to the goal.
Isaacson.
No, think the other way. He recently moved, well, I say recently, like in the last year or so, he was a bit of a beast in the other league he used to be in Contender. He's moved to Serie A, and he's still a bit of a beast.
Soleil.
No, but like you're like exactly in that type of transfer, like that team, but to a different team, and obviously not him.
Ooh.
You'll get it, definitely. Exact same position. In fact, he might have partnered him at his old club. Or in fact, I think he did.
It means it's a Salzburg guy.
It does. He is a fully fledged international. If I gave you, like, if I say...
No.
No. Really? Think Nellis.
Think Nellis? It's not Omar Soleil?
No, come on. The guy who offered him a lift was... Yes. Pavlovich.
That's not terrible. It's not a great tier 1.
For a tier 1, though.
Yeah, it's not a great tier 1, but... Baleba's somebody I would have much rather went for.
Baleba, yeah. Tier 2. Fatty.
Tier 3. Imagine winning Fatty. That would just be so sore. And we've got a wee party crasher coming in. Wow. McMona is back.
Hello.
McCurry, isn't it, tonight? McRuby.
McCurry, McMadry, whatever like sorts me out. I found the cure to world illness: chicken satay and beer. There we go.
Just inject that into everyone. We'll all be fine.
Well, Trump was talking about injecting bleach into people at one point, wasn't he? So, like, I think that's a damn sight better.
I had to keep my eyes off the chat for that game there. Sorry. There's my boy, indeed, tier 4. Somebody in the chat, BR4 got the Pavlovic shout.
Nice,
and people were talking about Nubel in the mix we are seeming here because he's only on loan, but it's hard to imagine Bayern. What's the deal with Urbig then if they bring back Nubel in 2 years? You know, it's just weird, the whole thing. And Paul Moorcroft is eloquent as always.
Subtle Paul.
Love it. And yeah, Gaza won big time and got a hands.
I saw that in his gallery earlier before the deadline because he bought a Brown yesterday, a Super Rare, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just check his gallery." And I saw, he had the Lord hands in season. That's amazing.
That was for winning. Must have been Challenger, I guess, was it, or was it All Star?
No, he says Super Rare All Star there. Yeah,
Super Rare All Star. Yeah, it was a big one. And it was hands.
He wasn't even in.
I just scrolled down like 3 pages.
Fair play, guys.
Oh yeah, of course it's here in the message. Of course, yeah, you're right. Apologies. But yeah, need a wee bit of that RNG when it's time for you to collect your podium.
Oh, there it is. That was nice the team.
Lagerbielke, Kane, Tierney. What a combo. Guys, I lost 20.
4/5 of a challenger lineup there. Obviously, Cherry's moved, but yeah, wow. Look at that. 0-0 against Feyenoord for the Breda boys.
Jackpot situation for the keeper.
Just shows you, man. Red card.
Reams red Friday card. Night curse. Friday night curse for the Ream. The Ream team.
It's happening. The Ream team. Where's they to? Oh, don't say it was Kipri. He's actually, yeah, it is. He's one of my guys. I didn't play him this week, but fucking hell. Cedric Kipri absolutely bangs last week. Red card, 7 minutes in. Cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Actually, a fair wee bit on there. I didn't really have anything playing myself. I didn't think there'd be much on.
I don't think I got a ton going on, but I know I have a little bit going on. I luckily didn't play my Kipri.
That's a bullet dodged.
Yeah. Where are they? Oh, I have Burnley. Yeah, Burnley played tonight.
Did you FOMO into any MLS, McBride? Or did you whale in?
I just got the rare Nashville stack, so I was
old faithful.
My old faithful, yeah. That's what I was looking back and like the wins I've had for like Joe Willis, Zimmerman, and Annie Mukhtar and stuff. I was like, I'm just going to buy some of that. But I mean, it was about 900 quid or something for the whole collection of the 1 out of 100s. So, like, I think like you look at what
chunky
some of the 1 out of 1,000 like first MLS cards were going for and stuff. It's not really that bad. Like, I don't like know whether it will return like its money over the season or whatever. But I know Reichman only. But if you look at some of the prices of the MLS guys, like it's like, you know, a lot of the rares, good rares are going for what, 400 or 500 quid and stuff. So like that's a whole collection, right? That's not like a 5-man team that bought like the whole collection for that. So, but I have kind of out with that avoided it. The limited goalkeepers and stuff are a fortune, aren't they? So they're quite expensive. So kind of looked at that and thought, I'm not really going to win that back. And I don't know, I'm getting grumpy in my old age. When I don't win stuff back, I go in a huff. So kind of like try to focus on actually winning some money. So I don't know. What about you? Did you get any, Quinny, or no? Harry,
I got some cheapskate NYC cards in the end. I went and got some. I had a fair amount of market credit sitting. Like literally every card I got was full on half price, which was just jamming. Because I had a few weeks where I was opening boxes, and I must have just been. I ended up always finishing like one essence away, and it was always a market credit that undone me, and I didn't really realize how many of them had been stacking up until I went to the auctions, and it was like, oh Jesus! So that was kind of good fun. So I kind of cheapskated out, but I'm actually quite I'm quite happy to hear you got another Nashville stack, because you've been you proper have been back in Nashville for a few years now, so that's a bit of a buzz.
Do you want to see something fun as well? Hot off a press.
Oh, it's a Nashville kit, isn't it? I can tell
No.
already. No. Ooh.
Sorare
Nice.
sent me a signed Brighton shirt.
Love that.
For the collection thing?
Is that?
For collections?
I don't know. Maybe they're just feeling sorry for me because they've never actually given me in for Celtic bar all the money I win in the competitions. Like, I don't know. No, I just sent it through. Just sent it through with a certificate and stuff. So kind of nice to see something a bit different. I mean, I've got the whole Brighton collection, obviously. So maybe they just see me being a maddo buying Nashville collections and thought, I'm going to send him a shirt. Maybe he'll just spend another couple of grand in one out of hundreds or whatever. But yeah, it was a nice touch. It doesn't really go with the aesthetics of the room because you can see everything's all green and white here. So I maybe need to put that one in another wall. But I think Matt O'Reilly's signature's on it as well. So that's quite cool.
Can I have like a hoops wall and then a stripes wall?
I'll need to get that Kyogo taken down now as well. That he's buggered off. Nah.
Oh, you maybe just put that into the museum. That's now retired, isn't it? That's now in legacy mode.
I don't mind that. Like somebody said that to me actually. I was like, obviously, still brilliant memories of him, but he's not quite there with Larson now. So maybe we'll need to move him at some point. So
yeah, file him next to Venegura Hesselink or Samaras.
I'm not moving that one with the Sorare stuff on it. That's definitely my favourite thing because it's like a personal thing. So there we go. But yeah, that was a nice touch. Just when you were talking about collections and stuff there, and I'm looking forward to MLS. It's good to have the guys back. To be honest, it seems as if just everything's running this weekend. So I like the MLS, like everything apart from like I think next weekend Russia's coming back, which is obviously mostly classic, but it seems like everything's on, which is proper fun and so on.
Yeah. And on the note of what I just said there, by the way, I just opened my Sorare tab, but I'd totally forgotten I'd gotten anything this game week. 15 quid in market credits.
How'd you get them?
Can't remember. Maybe I played the common mode or something, maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe it was no. I think I might have got that from Champions League. I think my Dortmund Celtic play squeezed in. Yeah, top 25%.
Quinny, I'd have come, see if Celtic hadn't conceded that one. I know we'd had to have seen out extra time, but I'd have come second in super rare in season. I still got $50 in credits though, so it wasn't really too bad. I quite like that actually. I know a lot of people don't always like a reward where you've got to kind of spend money to release it and stuff, but I guess they're really quite good, to be honest. It's better than getting none in it. Like it's like
Mickey Baston dropping bombs.
Well, unfortunately, it's not worked. So
we're back to square one.
Pretty much. I don't know, but honestly, like, I'm being controversial again, but I've loved all the MLS stuff. I've just not went mental in terms of spending because obviously they've been quite expensive and things, but there's been loads of good stuff. Like the Argentina special has been good. The payouts it's not like huge payouts or whatever, but the amount of people that's getting paid out compared to the entries is pretty healthy. So that's fun. Let's get the J League and the K League one coming up. The scheduling's been really good. Like there's been a couple of wee minor bits and pieces, but all the guys who've been kind of like playing for teams have all been auctioned pre-deadline, and then they put the 1 out of 10s or the 1 out whatever of the guys who are like squad players after the deadline. So it just shows a bit of actual thought in the scheduling. So I've enjoyed a lot of it, to be honest. It's actually just nice to see some hype and all right, people are going a bit mental and spending 400 quid unlimited or whatever, but just let them do that. They're paying all our rewards and everything, so just let them buy it around. Like somebody's got to be enjoy it and spend a bit of money, so they're pretty good.
I think a part of it is the level playing field aspect of it. You know, because we've kind of had that a few times down Sorare when something new comes out. Obviously, they've really ring fenced it with the in-season element of it all, but that's when kind of every manager gets a wee bit of, oh, do you know, like if I get in early, then no one's going to stop me. You know, everyone's got that kind of same wee glint in their eye at the moment. It feels like, you know, when they're devising their strategies or buying their cards a little bit, and yeah, it kind of just probably then gives you a wee bit more conviction to go for another couple of bids more than you maybe should.
And the battles thing as well, right? Because everybody's like, it's like like the placement thing, so it's not like, I remember back to when I bought some of the Real cards and things, and it's like, am I going to get in this division? Then they put me in Division 2, and I was like, I was annoyed about it and stuff, but it's just like, right, you just fight your way in, like, which is like brilliant. Like, that's really good. If you spend loads of money, have a bad weekend, well, you get into Division 3, so whatever, you know, like, I think that's actually really good. And it's obviously worked because cards are selling for good prices and people are enjoying it or whatever, so like, you know, it definitely has worked.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what prices look like though after this first week now in the MLS on the auctions without like the Essence thing and the divisional placement. And I wonder what, like, I think Evander sold for $1,000 earlier, like instant buy, like in dollars. Like what does that look like in a week, in a week's time? Let's say maybe he smashes 100. Yes, 795 quid on the dot is the highest so far for an Evander.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up, Harry Boy, right? Because how many cards have we had out so far?
We've had...
Who are we talking, Evander?
22 is the latest auction for Evander.
I think there's been about 15 messy rares or something, 15 or 16 as far as I remember. Like,
so that's like 1/3 of their supply, basically.
Yeah,
roughly.
But selling them at those prices, that's, if you look at what they're paying out every game week, like, that's all right, isn't it? Like,
it's one Evander a week, basically, isn't it? Like, they're paying, I know, top of the prize pool is a couple of Evanders, you know, all in rare. $4,000, isn't it? In rare, I think they give away or something. 4 or 5 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now everybody will be thinking at some point they're going to hit a streak, and then they'll just get to the end of the season, just realise that they've just never hit the last part of the streak. But like, it's created a bit of hype. It's created a reason to get the 5-in seasons. So again, because I was making my lineups and I was like, I'm going to put a classic card in here, and then the first thing I thought was I don't qualify for the streak. And I looked at Nashville's fixtures and it was like, oh, they're away next week, so I was like, okay. But like, if you had a couple of, if you had some options, because obviously it's your best team, I think it's your best team like qualifies for it. So if you put 3 teams in, you just need to hit the target with one of those teams or whatever. So it's I think it's a fun thing to do. I hope we see a lot of this stuff in the European season next season. Hopefully not to the detriment of the actual like top prizes that we see just now, if you know what I mean. But like, it's having a beat the game format's obviously something that adds something back into the game. So
I was kind of looking at some of these prem prices to compare the Evander stuff and all the rest of it, and yeah, like I think you can see there's kind of like a kind of early cycle with some of the cards, and then there's a kind of second cycle a wee bit, and that initial bit before it all pans out to instant buys or away from the auctions. I don't know if there's a big, and this is kind of different as well because they kind of go straight up, whereas the MLS ones, like we just seen with Evander there, they're all kind of slightly clustered together. Like so far, yeah, there's a wee one that went up in that, but they're kind of straight line, aren't they?
Yeah,
for the most part. So it's a wee bit different, but they are going to sell like all their auctions in the next like 3 weeks or something. You know, they'll be gone. They'll be instant buy, and with like these prem ones, you see the ones that come later that go on auction, which is like the blue triangle that's coloured in. It's like neon edition and celebration edition. So they leave the specials up their sleeve for when they're coming, you know.
Guess I just worked out there. If they sell 60 Evanders at 500 quid, it's 30 grand.
Nice.
That's one player.
Did you get your calculator out for that, Harry?
I had to, yeah. I didn't fancy doing that in my head, but 5 times 6 is add a few zeros, isn't it, really? But
they'll probably make more profit off limited, in all honesty. Like
what's the limited going for?
Well, I mean, like if you look at the price of the limited goalkeepers and stuff as well, you know, there's a lot of like limited goalkeepers going for like £100 a pop. You know,
they make £100,000 if they sell 600 Evanders at £165 a pop.
Yeah,
£100,000.
The Palmers, it's just
a
couple of waves, but it's kind of in the same range, isn't it, for the most part?
It's fucking mad, that, isn't it? Really, one player in limited. I know he's not going to say 165 for the whole season, but Jesus, like
Trent kind of lifted in the second half of that opening half. There's a wee lift there on the floor before it crashed down.
The good thing is, though, like, see, when Sorare see that that's possible and they're profitable and all that sort of stuff, they'll start throwing in some wee things here and there to, you know, kind of sweeten the deal for people. Because obviously the season goes on, they want to make sure the cards like retain their prices and things as well. The other really interesting thing was changing the XP, like, you know, I think the leveling up of cards is going to be a bit slower now. Like, you know, because if you don't use a card, you don't get any passive XP either. And then you've got to win XP. But if you're doing pretty well, you're not going to really be winning XP. You're going to be winning other stuff. So your cards are not going to level up apart from your scores. But even at that, a fifth of the lineup score, like, it's not that high, if you know what I mean, because there's no passive XP. So I think it'll be a lot slower overall for cards leveling up. And yeah, if that is the case, then, you know, in 2 or 3 weeks' time or whatever, if you want to go and buy an Evander, then you're not as worried about the guy who's bought it 3 weeks ago having like 8% or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it should level out the kind of price of the card selling for over the season, you would have thought. But we'll see how it all shakes out. So
yeah, it's a good point there.
I think with multi-entry, there's always a chance you're going to have one team that kind of flies into that realm every once in a while, maybe a close but no cigar, you know, like the goalkeeper didn't hold the clean sheet or wrong captain pick, or, you know, that'll be the kind of zone, because it's kind of like the runner-up prize XP, isn't it? I don't know about you, but I get lots of lineups that feel like runner-ups, you know, like they've just ended up with a 2-star box or some nonsense, you know.
it's just because it's different, just different way of doing it now, because obviously I know with the level ups you could go and you could apply your level ups, so that's fine. But there was a maximum of 3 and things like that. Whereas now, apart from the cooling off periods, like you've got to actually apply the XP yourself. So you're getting the XP for using cards, but like somebody gets injured, for example, you're not going to be using them anywhere. So you're not getting no passive XP and you're getting no in-game XP. So unless you use the XP from the guys who you kind of should be using them with, the guys who are playing, and then they're not moving forward like at all. So it's like just like a different dynamic in terms of how the levels and everything work, because you could just have a guy sitting there and he was injured, so like you get a Rodri or whatever, he's sitting there for 6 months and every week he's just earning XP, or you could even train him. Whereas now, you know, you're not going to put him in a lineup, right? like you're just ruining one of your actual lineups. So unless you take your XP from one of the competitions and apply it to him, then he's going to sit there doing nothing. So it brings in the kind of, I guess it does bring in the tactics. I think that from a trading point of view, that could be an interesting angle. Like you go and buy a Rodri and just say, I'm just going to level this guy up. I know he's going to be back before the end of the season. I know he's going to be back in 2 or 3 months. You get it to a nice high level, and then you can kind of punt it back on again. So I suppose it could be good, but people will just need to adapt a wee bit, I think. So
makes having higher XP cards, even just as a widespread thing, more of an early adopter situation now, but for more people, you know, because there's been 5 seasons of the old system now where everyone was getting XP and your training lineups for treble XP, and you know, you could just jack it to the face off it. So I guess it will kind of reward people who have been here before holding, you know, important cards that they've got at level 18, at level 20. It's now like, oh, well, I'm a bit more married to that situation now all of a sudden.
Yeah, you just not qualify for the beat the game stuff, or you maybe just get a scenario where there's some points where they just do comps and just say like you're not allowed to use it classically. You know, like not that I want to see that, if you know what I mean. But like I think they'll have looked at the price of the goalkeepers in the MLS and things, and there'll be some light bulbs going off there, you know, because like whoever's the most expensive card in the lineup or whatever, you'll tend to just say, well, try and find a cheaper version of that or whatever get in. I don't know what you do, Harry, like, but like obviously if you get you get a ton of goalkeepers or whatever, you'll just say, well, I'll use that goalkeeper and then I'll put out 4 in-season guys or whatever with it because you just want to build lineups, you know. So I think over time they'll be wanting to rebuild the value back into those cards again for whatever reason. So
yeah, definitely. If anyone has Atabolu, I think he just got a little cheeky pen save.
Oh, GG's to him.
From what I'm hearing, yeah, pen saved. Andre Silva missed.
What a surprise, Andre Silva. Guy can't catch a break, man. This season has just went down and down and down, man. His season, his career, sorry, I beg your pardon. But yeah, not be that. I was going to say to you guys as well, have you got any boxes left on the shelf?
Don't, mate. No, I had a couple of rares earlier, but just bits of essence.
I've got a few boxes left myself. No more boxes, RIP boxes.
Oh,
It's all fixed essence this game week, isn't it? There's no actual boxes anywhere, is there? Where's the cat modes? I wonder if they've got boxes. Or they do. Cat modes have got boxes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't think anybody else does. La Liga, yeah, fixed essence and XP.
I suppose with that 30-50% though, as you say, you'll have some lineups. It's kind of cool that if you hit the frame, but you don't actually hit the cash, you're getting something meaningful. So I think that's like good.
Yeah,
you kind of broke up a wee bit there for me. I don't know if it was my headphones or your mic, but just a wee. I don't know. Someone tell me. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I think it's kind of good that if you hit, like, you don't hit the frame in terms of the money, but you're just out with that or whatever, that you get some XP, and that's something that seems like meaningful, you know, or tactical, or you're engaged by it because you're like, all right, who am I going to actually use that on? Because the level ups became a bit like, oh, it's a bit meh and stuff, but like, I mean, like that's going to be useful, right? If overall it's a wee bit slower to level up the cards, then becomes a bit more useful, so it kind of becomes a bit more prevalent as a reward, I suppose. So that's obviously what they want.
Definitely.
I'll probably bash those boxes open before we call it a night on this one. But Rico Man is saying he thinks they'll do hot streaks in Europe. Now, I think, see, the way they've kind of laid this out is that I think their plan is there's going to be a bunch of different things on the go in this little tab or this little section, and it'll be like hot streaks is maybe the MLS thing, maybe the European one will be something different, maybe the Prem has one, maybe Bundesliga has one, and maybe they're all the same thing, but I think like this is set up so you could have like different things on the go in slightly different ways, because yeah, like I suppose the actual score thing, like Sorare said on that podcast you did with them, Harry, I think it was, they've ran the numbers when you're saying like the golden goal was a bit steep. They were saying like on everything they've got the data, they've ran the data, and they think the numbers will work. I don't know if the same numbers would work in Europe for the same thing. So I think like I could imagine, I don't know if this is just being pedantic or Rico Man saying they're expanding on it, but like I can see them doing different things in different comps, but it's then becomes like missions is like or whatever they're calling this is like a pillar in the game almost, you know, a vertical or whatever. I don't know what you'd call it.
Yeah, I think it'll be like streaks, like that's the pillar, you know, where whatever that looks like number wise, it might differ. Like you said, in Europe, I reckon it's just easier to hit higher scores in some weird way. I know we always associate the MLS with massive scores, which we do with the midfielders and forwards and that, but like the defenders and goalkeepers are renowned to not do that. So, you know, in Europe, there's so many more options. You'd have a better chance of hitting these streaks if they look like that exactly. So I reckon they'd have to adjust them. But yeah, I think streaks will probably be here to stay, depending on how it goes. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like it just keeps you coming back next week. Like if you've already hit number one, you can't not play for number two, because it actually I think you can't skip a week or anything. Like it actually just puts you back to square one. So you know, you are obviously going to turn up, aren't you? And you're going to do everything in your power to try and hit the next one, because, you know, there's an incentive to jump up. So it's clever. It definitely is clever.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if they did the golden goal thing at rare as well? You know?
Yeah.
And said that's like for example, in this, like, when you zoom forward into Europe, like maybe champ, contender, and challenger get rare golden goals, but then I don't know, maybe those league ones have like the hot streak thing, of course, some sort of like chain thing there, but maybe there's something else, like maybe a captain. I don't know, it could be anything, you know. But I think their plan's probably to make it a wee bit more, not elaborate necessarily, but like not just the same thing copied over 6 times. You know, maybe there's a bit of a twist on like this division's get more, or this division's easier, but, or you know, I don't know, some different kind of little things that make it like, maybe it's not hot streaks, maybe it's solid run or something. I don't know, like just to make up a name, you know. Or captain. I say captain keeps coming to my mind, so I think you can make some cool names around a captain based one. Maybe your captain has to, like, I don't know, hit 70 all the way through the chain or something, 70 or above.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Just a random, but you know, like I think I could imagine it being a bit more like, oh, this league's got this one and that league's got that extra thing, or that's available in a region but not a league kind of idea.
I just hope, like what McBride said, like they don't take away from the jackpotty element of prize pools that we have right now with the, you know, Premier League, whatever it is, $3,000 or whatever. Like, if there's some sort of hot streak for the Prem, well, that's going down to $1,000, if that, you know, like that's the issue, isn't it? It's like it's got to come from somewhere really, and they'll probably chop it off the top of the actual prize pool. So I get it, but yeah, I think there's a balance to be had, for sure.
I think it depends how much of these, like as you say, it will be a bit harder on MLS, so they'll need to weigh up like how many people have actually won that over the course of the season. Like if it's quite hard, but it's still available, but it's a bit of a jackpot, then it's a good carrot to dangle in front of people. And also, like, it kind of takes away from this thing, like, you know, people always say, "Oh, I hit that score and I never won anything or whatever." So like, I think a beat the game element is quite good, because like I was speaking to somebody else, so now you've changed the divisions now, and there's more entries in D1. So, well, look at all these entries in D1, which is fair enough. So if you get in D1, you hit 430 or whatever, if you know you're going to get $10 over and above what you've got. If you bought all your in-season guys, then it's a wee added sort of Brucey bonus or whatever. And that's, I mean, people are not expecting they're going to win $1,000 every game week, but if you can churn over some small wins or whatever and keep people engaged, then that does help a lot, because you know, just some wee credits here and there, some money here and there. All right, a couple of weeks you can buy an R card. People feel as if they're actually progressing in some way. Like their prices are probably going down to the cards they've bought, but like they feel as if they're winning some of the money back. So, like, I think that well, it's definitely worked. I mean, I don't know if it's just a summer league thing or because MLS got his own comp, but it seems to have all come together and sort of resulted in a bit of hype, which is good. And there's more content from Sorare, like, so that's kind of, you know, most of us will know those guys, but if you don't know the MLS, just having some content, here's the community picks and stuff, it helps people go and actually buy a couple of guys and keeps them right without making stupid mistakes and things. So I think it's been really good overall.
Yeah, it's been one of the best launches in a while, I would say, as far as like just like the amount of like content that they've put out, you know, like we've never really seen that. You know, it's always been like, you know, the Premier League does their tweets, and you know what I'm saying? Like this is the first time I would say that Sorare like put like manpower behind like a launch, really, isn't it? Like a good amount of manpower.
Yeah, doing a podcast with you and Gator being definitely the
highlight.
A big, yeah, I'd say a highlight, yeah, for sure. But it's certainly like, oh, this is like a totally different approach kind of thing, or totally.
Yeah, it was a bit left field, but they should be doing that for the J League. Like, who's the J League expert in in town? Or like Sorare Japan or what? Like, why can't they do that for, you know, Argentina? Get Surf on. You know, like, I know the MLS is a bit bigger and it's loads of league like teams. I get it, so like it might warrant a bit more content, but at the same time, I think the other leagues should definitely have their like time in the sun as well. I know, like, it was all in the same time. You know, it might have been just a resources thing. Like everything went out at the same time, effectively, didn't it? Argentina, K League, J League, MLS. Which one do you pick to actually put the manpower behind? Is probably going to be the MLS, isn't it? Because that's where the best cards are. Messi's there, obviously, but I think the other ones deserve a bit more sort of like hype, let's say.
Yeah. Do you think there's an element as well, because they're kind of feel as if they're getting on top of things. Like there's been so many changes. Like you must have been like in like Sorare's office had people working on what the changes were actually going to be. So you kind of get to that point where it's like, okay, this is broadly working, and we're going to do some tweaks. And like some of these people actually have got a bit of time to commit towards those things, because like obviously Guy and like the other guys who've been on it, they've probably been working things in the background, like trying to make sure they've nailed what's actually happening or whatever on the site or the design or the strategy point of view. So they maybe just have a wee bit more time now to settle down, and it's become a bit more more of a like a template. Like we're working with this, it's the new Sorare. We're just going to do small changes and stuff. So because there's definitely room for them to grow. I mean, they should have a big YouTube channel and stuff like that as well, right? They should just have the highlight even like weekly winners or whatever, like, you know, putting a spotlight on there, who's won the big comps and all that sort of stuff, because people love to see all that type of stuff. It just highlights even the big wins, you know, like, oh, Pranksy's won 100 grand this week, or whatever, you know, like the people look at that and they like, obviously they're not going to be able to do that, but they look at that and they kind of get attracted by that because they see the pound signs and stuff. So it'd be good for getting in new users and things too.
Definitely. Yeah, they're on their way, aren't they? You can tell there's like the cogs are turning. Like this was never, you know, 4 years ago, they were never doing, you know, launches and content and all that stuff. Like it's definitely improved, like from that side of things. It's just about staying consistent with it, really, and just, yeah, carrying on from where they've sort of kicked off with the MLS stuff. But the next, I guess, launch is going to be Europe, which will be, you know, obviously bigger, but yeah, I wonder how they can kind of combat that from like a manpower perspective, like internally. I don't know.
I think the thing with Europe as well, though, is it's kind of a wee bit staggered. Like, you know, because like you get leagues that come back a wee bit earlier, and you know, like Belgium are always quite early. I feel like Belgium are a good long-term sort of partnership for Sorare, you know. So you know, Lord Vanek allows wouldn't be that hard to make something, but because like I remember really well at the start of the season, like the Celtic cards and everything came out first, and felt like kind of everybody in Sorare wanted to buy Scottish League cards because it was a special, and because there was like somebody paid like 40 quid for some random ditty that was a 2 out of 1,000 or whatever, and you're like, what, what are you doing? Like, it's I've never like
I remember
I heard of this guy and he plays in Scotland. Like, what are you doing?
Mental.
But I mean, you definitely could like have like some staggered lodge, and then the good thing is like the EPL's kind of sometimes one of the last ones, but if you feel as if you've kind of got a bit of a build up towards that as well, so that's quite good. I'm sure it will be better. Like,
yeah, definitely.
I think so. I think a lot of the stuff that goes on there now is a bit of a, and we kind of said it already with MLS, a bit of a tester, but it's also in terms of the launch stuff you were just mentioning there, it's definitely a great opportunity to cut your teeth with that kind of stuff, because as you know, both you guys know, like making content's not as easy as it looks for the most part.
Definitely. I wouldn't go as far as calling my stuff content, Quinny. That's the first mistake you've made there. Is Damsgaard just getting an assist there? Yes, go on.
Yeah.
Oh, Fista scored as well. I've got a full Brentford stack out. Had to be done.
Ooh.
Of course you do.
I know. It's like I was the Scottish cheapskate in me, Quinny. So I'm not buying like a Liverpool stack, or I'm not like going to buy like Brighton and Brentford or whatever, like, you know. So
Christopher Ayer is my top super rare defender this game week. I've just remembered. So I need him to do something.
Has to be done.
My defence was roasted this game week. Tough fixtures everywhere. Oh, I've got Lionheart as well. I could have had a Friday night super rare defensive stack on the go, it turns out. Guess I'm glad I never done that, but it might be actually looking not bad.
I'm forgetting Celtics tomorrow as well, Quinny. Like, it feels like
yeah, early kickoff.
But yeah.
This Zalazar deal's off again. Same with Illich. These guys only moving to Russia again. Aye, but 5 times over. It's
Quinny. Actually
been on and off. It's so annoying, isn't it?
I bought the Zalazar super. Anyway, I hope he goes at some point. If not, it's a bit screwed. But
And we had no funny moniker for him this time. It's just plain old average Nepenthez. Is this
Just
like
me,
MLS?
mate. I thought you said just by yourself today.
Well, I was worried nobody was going to be up for it tonight. And then we'll go four.
You got some friends, mate. Well done.
Aye, there we go. Aye.
How's life, everyone? How are we doing?
Good. Alive.
Yeah. How's new fatherhood, mate?
Yeah, it's getting there, mate. Yeah. It's,
Bit of a shock to the system, or are you all right with it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it would be harder, like genuinely, but like, yeah, getting up in nights is just the hardest thing, I'd say.
It just gets harder from here.
Does it?
Doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
But they're just more like they can just do more, can't they? There's just more to worry about.
Yeah, more trouble, more grief,
Yeah.
more money, more this, more that, more driving me here, more do this. Yeah, it just never ends, mate. It never ends now. It's
like
the beginning
right now,
of the end.
I'm not getting anything back, like as in I probably never get anything back, but what I'm saying is like as far as like I don't get a smile, I don't get anything. Like there's no like, you know, give and take. It's just take.
Just give, yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, or, yeah.
shitey nappies. Shitey nappies, this is.
Yeah. I don't mind that though. I'm fine with the nappies, honestly. Yeah, I'm okay with the nappies, but I don't mind it. It's fine. It's fine.
Aye. All downhill from here. But baby's only the hard bit. That was I remember when I was first a dad, that was the first thing I thought, oh, this baby nonsense is easy. Like baby's only that bad, you know. But yeah, that's the mistake, is you get comfy then. You think, oh, I've got this cracked, you know.
And then you haven't.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'd be like 3:30 in the morning, and you're like, you're up and you're like, I'm up now, and then you end up bidding in an auction. You wake up like 5 hours later and going, oh, what have I done? So I'm never usually up at this time. I'm just going to bid on some MLS guys or whatever, like buy a limited.
My MLS days are over. I used to watch them. Well, not playing them, but I used to be in bed at like anywhere between sort of 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. for most of my adult life, getting up kind of whenever I wanted, even maybe not in the pub industry. I used to get up at like 9 o'clock to go and open the pub, but since it's been full-time YouTube the last 10 years, like it's been bed when I want, up when I want, until the kids got a little bit older. Now they're a bit more demanding. Like now we do multiple school runs. So now I'm like up at 7 a.m. every morning. And it's like, even on like this school holidays this week, I'm up at like 7:30, 8 a.m. every morning this week, just because I'm in that habit now. And I'm like, I tried to stay awake for the 1 a.m. Miami game. I couldn't make it. I'm sitting there, I was like, right, lineups are in. That was it. I was done. I couldn't stay awake. And I'm like, the last sort of like 6 to 9 months, because my daughter goes to a different school now. She's gone to middle school. My sleep pattern's changed. I cannot watch an MLS game to save my life.
Because you're getting old.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, I'm not getting old. I think I am old nowadays.
Harry's the youngest here, I think, by a mile.
I mean, lucky for me, the MLS games aren't as late, so that's my only escape from that. But they do get late, mind. Like,
have they changed them again this year? Then have they brought them back even more?
I think they've got like a nice little. I think for tomorrow, I think there's like 10 or so games or whatever, and they're kind of spaced out. Let me have a look.
Tomorrow is in like the upcoming morning, or is in the following morning? Oh, it's the following morning, yeah.
As in, like LAFC are playing.
Oh yeah, like
9:30 your time, and then the rest are a bit late. To be fair, what 12:30 for Atlanta? Is it? Yeah.
I might just make that LAFC game then.
It's stupid though. They put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They put 6 games on at the same time. Like, and then they got 2, 3, and then another 6 at an hour later. An hour later.
Yeah. Did you guys indulge in MLS cards?
I got some NYC cards as well.
Oh, is that right? I went all in today. I won came second place in that Champ Euro Rare, whatever. Yeah. Or nice. Limited, whatever it was. Yeah. Gave me a nice little buffer, and I won a few other bits and bobs. I had like £1,600 just staring at me, and I'd already bought a few bits. And as it was coming up to the like game week lock, I was like, I'm not doing it. These prices are ludicrous. I'm not doing it. And then somebody Laird responded to somebody who got Gabriel Peck out of a buy it out of a box, but the card he bought was just a pile of crap. I was like, that's it, I'm in. And so I just went and spent absolutely every last penny that I had on rare LAFC, limited LAFC, and then some other like bits and bobs. And I'm just going full in on LAFC this year, and I hope they do well, because if they don't, they've cost me again. Last year I bought their in seasons, and they just couldn't put a good result together. Do you know what I mean? Like they'd either smash, but like their main players would be out. Or their defenders were hard to like guess, and they rotated them a lot. Or they'd just concede like 4 goals, and Lloris would walk away with like 7 points, and you'd be like, well, what's the bloody point? Like, so yeah, hopefully this year they do us good.
Lloris was always good as well for a wee random assist last year. How many did they get in the end? Was it 2?
Yeah, 2 or 3, I think. Yeah, he's no Edison, but he does all right. Yeah.
He's the sort of guy who's leaned into that as well. Once he's done that the first time, the second time he's definitely been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Did you know Cengiz Under's got LAFC cards, Nep? I didn't know this.
I didn't. No, I think he's injured for a while though, isn't he?
Is he? I don't know, but
he
got LAFC cards.
He didn't earlier on today.
The 1 of 100 auctioned 10 hours ago for 67
Oh, there you go.
quid.
Is that limited or rare?
Rare.
Jesus Christ.
I know. I can't believe that. His Fenner cards were going for more than what the LAFC cards went for today, basically.
Yeah,
which is mad. Which is a bit mad, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. They didn't show up when I was like looking earlier, so
yeah,
he'll be good there. Because and you know what I've done as well? I bought Ordaz and Martinez, their other right wingers, for like 50 quid each, and they're not going to see a minute of football, are they? So I've just done myself in there, haven't I?
Well, Under's not fit all the time.
No, he's not. No, they still got Vela as well. He hasn't got any cards yet this year.
Cengiz Under. Let's have a look.
Vela's in encore mode, isn't he?
He is, mate. He's just there for the vibes, isn't he? He probably won't play much, but the fact that they haven't minted him is a bit weird.
Bye, Cengiz, 27.
Oh, he's not there anymore. He's left again. Vela.
Oh, was he?
He came back, played 4 minutes, and that was it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You see how Under's been out for so long anyway. I'm pretty sure he's injured right now.
Yeah. Would not surprise me.
Mate, he had a spell when he was at Marseille, I think, where he was just dropping hundreds like crazy.
Yeah, he was nuts, wasn't he? For a while.
Maybe not like crazy, but he dropped enough of them to be decent.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he didn't even get one at Marseille. Brilliant.
Yeah, close. 97. I'll give it to you.
99 on debut.
Yeah. Listen, that's basically every game at that point, isn't it?
I've just got this thing in my head. It's like when Japan came on, like if a Brazilian guy went to Japan and just assumed he was going to hit 80s and 90s. So it's like somebody goes to MLS, he'll be great there. It's like absolutely no analysis of it. He'll be brilliant there because it's MLS.
That was one of my scouting tactics when I first joined the site, is like finding like Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga players that are now playing in like either like Portugal or Argentina or Brazil, and I just start picking up loads of them, or like the Swiss league and stuff like that, because I'm like, look, if they had the pedigree to be starting in like La Liga, even if it was for a mid-table team and they go to like Danish league or something, they're just going to be like top tier. And for the most part, it worked out well, which is why I ended up paying thousands of pounds for like piles of crap that don't play football anymore. But you start to learn, don't you, that it's not just about how they play when they play, it's about how often do they play and why don't they play. You know, the amount of players that I bought for a lot of money that just had bad attitudes and just been like bad apples and like, you know, bad off the field, so they don't get game time and stuff. And I'm like, man, sort of thing that you should pay more attention to. But you learn, don't you? You can't just know that straight away. You've got to learn that sort of stuff.
Definitely. McBride, you must be laughing with that little 3-0.
Yeah, I've just looked at. There's actually 2 guys who've got the identical stack and the same captain.
No way.
I can't beat, but I'm third, like in Division 2 just now so it'll be a sort of Ban Brentford stacks moment if they keep a clean sheet, then that will bang to the high.
Done, isn't it?
It's only 33 minutes into the game. There's still a long way to go.
Long way to
go. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but
they'll have to keep a clean sheet, you know. But like,
who's the 5? Fleck and Pinnock, surely, or maybe Dennis Potter.
Flecken, Collins, Damsgaard, and Buemo, and Visa. And actually, I'm a bit annoyed at myself because usually I captain Damsgaard, but I actually captained Mbuemo, and the other two guys who have got higher XP than me have captained Mbuemo as well, so now I can't beat them. So that's a bit of a pain in the ass. But I mean, I'd take third, to be honest. So that would be great, but I need the clean sheet. So long way to go. They usually
Leicester are honking in there.
I think Mark Flecken's kept about 2 clean sheets in the whole season, to be honest. So, literally, I don't think he's had really any. There was a game where he got injured and off after 15 minutes, and Valdimarsson came on and they kept a clean sheet, and Valdimarsson got the clean sheet because he was on. you just couldn't really make stuff like that up. But
no, would only happen in Sorare, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Definitely. I'm way down for more beer. You guys can chat.
How's MFL going for you so far this season?
Oh, very, very good.
That's right.
But my squad has been mad threadbare. I think I've said to you last time we were on, I had totally fucked the transfer window, and I had put everyone into development as well, and I'd locked them in there. So I had crap guys to rely upon, and then I'd sent them away to see if they could maybe get better. So next season, if I was to try and loan them out or whatever, sell them maybe, get a few knicker for them. But I managed to get 3 emergency transfers in the window, and I've filled my squad out so I can rotate. And I'm sitting in third. Hopefully, I can win the league if I win my 6 pointers.
Is that what league is that?
Stone.
Oh, nice.
So the second one. So it's going quite well. Totally bombed in the cup, but having to use that for rotation. Just killing guys, putting them in the wrong position and all that, because I only had 8 backup players, so I couldn't even rotate the full 11 in a swoop. So I'd have to take 2 games to just put wonky teams out to rotate everyone fully.
I didn't realize you didn't gain fitness back if you didn't have a day off. You have to literally miss a game. Mate. Yeah. So towards the back end of the first half of the season, I was just pounding my top guys. I'm like, no, whatever. You got 3 days off. You're gonna be just fine. And then my friend was like, yeah, they won't gain that fitness back. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. Well, I messaged in the Discord, didn't I? I was like, it's been 38 hours now and he hasn't gained any fitness. When does it come in? And turns out it doesn't. So I was thinking about a different rotation strategy though, of almost having it'd be hard to work well, but have a left back that can play centre back, 2 centre backs, and a centre back that can play right back, and then a left back and a right back. So you only need 6 defenders and just continually cycle them through one after the other. Almost, you know what I mean? Literally a little carousel, right? And then do the same with midfielders. And then with strikers, you just need 3, don't you? Start your 2. After one game, kick one out, put the other one in, and just carousel them around as well. So effectively, you actually could get away with having just 17 players, backup goalkeeper as well. You could get away with it if you was really tight on how you rotated them. But yeah.
Or if you had a full back 4 and then you had one guy that could play anywhere in the back 4 and he was quality anyway.
And he's just a guy. Yeah.
Where's he playing?
Yeah, where are you today?
Yeah, I got a guy like that earlier. He was right back, left back, centre back. I paid a bit more because I thought that's he's only 17 as well, so I definitely paid a bit more, but one for the future hopefully. So
I've started to get a few of my players contracted out now. I just set them for any league 3%. I'd put it at 1% for the 40 rated players, 2% for the 50s, 3% for the higher rateds, and 5% for some of the other ones. And I've had 10 or 12 players be picked up to go out for the rest of the season. So I'm nice. I hope these guys do well because I want that MFL back in my pocket,
That's a buzz. I remember, I had a few go out at the beginning of the season, and I remember some of the rubbish ones when you list them, you're like, oh, no one's going to take this guy. And then when the offers start coming in, you're like, oh, jamming. This guy's a way out. Brilliant. I'm made.
Did you get your squad updated, Quinny? I remember I was speaking to you the last time about this, and you had one winger or something in a certain position. Did you manage to get no bodies in? Or?
Yeah. I got my free mid-season transfers, and I managed to cover the positions well enough so I got a striker, right winger, a left winger, and then a guy that can play basically anywhere in midfield. And with the 3 of them added in, I'm fine now. I can rotate.
That's good.
But I set myself a target of not giving away. The maximum you can do was 3 players, and I didn't want to give away more than 20% because I've given away nothing so far this season because I screwed my squad up. So I kind of set myself a limit of that, and I ended up the way I negotiated it with the minimum games and all that, got it down to like 17, which I was quite chuffed with. I was like, oh, below target, go be like a wee club hitting targets and stuff, you know, keeping under budget. So that was a good bit of fun.
I've had a weird season. Like some of the results are just been like, I had a game where I get beat 2-0 and I had like 30 shots, 3 XG. You couldn't have made it up type stuff. And then I seen you put the thing out saying that the goals have been a bit lower than expected and things. So I've noticed that like it's like doubling or 6 or something. I was like, but they shouldn't really be 6 because they're like the best sort of rated players in the league. So sack a manager, obviously, but it just seems like they're just doomed. Do you know what I mean? You're just like it's like 2-0 up, and I got a guy sent off and I end up losing 4-2, and there's only 15 minutes to go. Like that's just mad stuff that you can't really predict. So, but anyway, still enjoying it, I think.
Apparently, this was earlier on today. This might be old news, but Sorare released a load of 1 out of 10 super rares in the middle of the night with just a 2-hour auction time. Is that right? Hey,
yeah,
people must have got bargains.
Harry Trade's got one.
Oh yeah, who'd you get?
I got him on the deadline today. It wasn't even like a US thing at all. I just got Alexander Hack, who I paid the same amount for in Rayan Super, 40 quid. But he's 1 of 10 to be fair, which is quite nice. But no, I don't know. This was literally today, but I don't know why the guy was moaning, to be honest, because he was in on him as well. So like he's literally just contradicting himself by saying that like, sorry, I've done this, but I took advantage of it. So you know, well,
yeah.
But no, it was nothing crazy. I like Oriana Super went for like 500 quid, which was quite nice. But there's a bit of doubt around him right now with like him not playing and stuff. So there wasn't any like crazy bargains. But I think Gator got a couple of bits earlier today on the auctions, like just before deadline, because he was scrambling to get a few supers in. Who did he get? He got Daniel, the keeper, for like 500 quid super rare.
Wow, that's insane.
Griffin Dorsey for 26 quid.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I just don't think they should do that. Honestly,
sorry. Those are 2 of 10s actually. So that doesn't even actually come into the argument of that guy. So I don't know.
Just like actually have a minimum amount of time on the timer. So that if you look, you can just say, right, like I'll have like 5 or 6 hours to look ahead or whatever. Because I'll give you an example, right? Like I'm always on like just now because I was trying to get some of the Nashville guys for the rare and things. I looked on this morning and like it was all kind of normal schedule and stuff. And then looked on later on and I looked with 15 minutes ago, there was a Jota super rare up. I was like, that wasn't up like half an hour ago. It's all right, they put that out and it's to sell or whatever before the deadline. But it went for like half what I paid for the last Jota, which I probably paid a wee bit too much for. So the problem is like if it goes up and people don't notice it's up, then they'll just sell for less. So they're just losing money. Like, and they get people like annoyed. Like if it's a 1 out of 10 or a 1 out of 100, then that piece is not going to come back up again, or you're going to have to go and buy it. You're not the first owner. So people get a bit annoyed about that stuff because you just want a chance to actually buy it, you know. So yeah, they could learn, I think, on some of that stuff. But the scheduling's been good overall, but like it's just been a bugbear of mine. Like when they were putting up the Casper Schmeichels at the start of the season, like I remember I was away and I was desperate to get a Casper Schmeichel super rare, and I got on a flight and I came off the flight. Somebody messaged me and said, "Why did you not bid on Casper Schmeichel?" I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like they put one up, it had went with a timer of 2 hours. Somebody bought it and it finished, and I didn't even know it was up. And I was like, "Well, look, you've just lost money. I would have bid on that, so like you've lost a couple $100 because I would have been bidding on it." So
yeah,
just stuff like that. So
what do you think motivates them to put it up for like 2 hours? Then do you reckon it's either a mistake or the community's gonna be like, "Oh my days, Schmeichel super is there. Let's all go," and like it doesn't give people time to like think about it and adjust to what reality is, so they just overpay.
I think they've, as far as I can see, they've got some sort of system where if there's a lot of limited cards sell, it chucks an auction out.
Okay.
So like, you'll notice that if if a goalkeeper gets in or whatever, then as soon as the cards start moving on the market, like a super rare appears of that goalkeeper. Obviously, with backups, you can do that because they've got the supply. So I think like it's almost like an on-demand auction release type thing. Whereas see if there's like loads of interest in cards, they say we're going to chuck up a rare and we're going to chuck up a super rare because we're selling 15 limited or whatever, loads of instant buys or loads of movement on the secondary market or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I noticed today the instant buy. I was trying to buy someone on instant buy, and as I clicked on it, it was like, oh, this price has changed. And I was like, oh, bloody hell, somebody else has bought it. How much is it going to be? But I went for the instant buy because somebody was bidding on the auction I was bidding on. And it got to the point where if I bid again, it'd be more than the instant buy. And because the auction was lower than the instant buy price actually came down because the auction went for lower than what the instant buy price was, but instantly. So I wonder if they put in a new formula for bringing instant buys back down, which is needed. But yeah, it was a bit different.
Well, the last card I bought, that kind of thing happened to. I don't know when, but I ran out on the Hannes Wolf auction because it got past like 40 odd quid and I still had market credits. I only wanted to pay 20 for it, like net essentially. And it got to the point where I was going for like more than what I wanted, and the instant buy was like 70. So I was like, okay, I don't care about this game week that much. Like I'm not desperate for this card. It will certainly be cheaper in the very near future at some point. And then this morning before the deadline, I don't know what possessed me, but I just had a wee look and the instant buy had went to 40 quid. I was like, oh, hiya. That'll do me.
Right,
yeah.
Take you. So that was a bit of a winner. So yeah, I noticed that there was a quick little adjustment thing off the back of it somehow at some point.
It makes sense, doesn't it? Because sometimes you look at the instant buys and you go, that's just ridiculous. Like I wish I could like send Sorare an offer. You know, like it's like I'll pay you what the last auction was, or I'll pay you.
I'll give you these 3 tier 3s plus 12 quid.
You want to trade in these assholes you've just given me in the rewards? Yeah, but like sometimes they're just like wildly unrealistic, and you think that if they were realistic, then you would go and they would sell that card. You know, that would be better, like than just doing a Pavel trade and just listing them for 3x the last auction or whatever, and hoping that somebody comes along and does their knackers.
It's mad, isn't it? The price of in season versus classic, like MLS stars. The price difference is so crazy. But I think classic is decent. Like now that you can have 3 teams in, and if you get them all to D1, you could pick up like 200 or 300 essence, or maybe not 200 or 300. Is it 100 essence for like top spot? Yeah. And it's like all of a sudden you could craft a star like 100 essence for that top. Now I'm not saying it's easy to get top 17, but the prices of these cards, even the Messis and stuff, even to get that sort of top 20% on 3 squads every time, I think that's decent. I think there's like room there to really build your team and get some in seasons to sell on rather than to like build an in season team from crafts. People say classic is dead, but I think I like it. I think so. When I was building in my classic teams today for the MLS, I was like, oh man, I've got some bangers. I've got some absolutely banging teams. And then I was looking like what I could sell them for. And I was like, at these prices, I wouldn't even dare sell them because you get one good game week throughout the whole season and it pays for all of it straight away.
I think that's a bit that people think classic's dead on. It's more like resale value.
Yeah.
You know, you're as well using them, which means that in the past, actually, a lot of the times it would make more sense to sort of cash in at certain points, whereas now it's just like you just as well using them. So
yeah, you just run them into the ground. You just keep going until they're just gone.
Yeah,
literally.
Especially with what we were saying earlier about the XP thing, like as well. You know, there's just going to be less higher XP cards as time goes on. Like in terms of they'll be harder to attain. You know, so all the ones that we've kind of got that've been doing triple XP training for the last 5 years and all the rest of it, like that would just be a less of a less of a thing that gets kind of further into the pool of cards, if that makes sense. I've probably said that upside down, but yeah, I was thinking as well because this is like the mega league, isn't it? The division battle. So I know there's 17 spots there that pay out 100. I think on the thing it's maybe like 5 or 4.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all the divisions, isn't it? This week, and they're just making it super jamming. I wanted to see the super rare one. Have any of you entered in super rare MLS in season or classic?
I don't know that kind of money, mate. I don't know that kind of money.
super rare classic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean classic.
Yeah, just I didn't look at it. It was just for sticking on a screen if anyone fancies it.
I didn't look at it either. I just fucked my team in. It's just
top 20% get 3 essence, and then 11th to 20th gets 5, 6th to 10 get 10, and then fourth and fifth get 25, and then obviously the podium. But there's like 454 players fighting for 2 cards, basically.
Classic MLS. That's quite. I thought that'd have been deeper. 450 players, is that it? Or teams?
For super rare.
Yeah,
That's
but
not a
for
lot.
2 cards, like
For 2 cards, it's mental.
Where else are they playing super rares? Like the 2 cards thing's irrelevant, you know.
Well, I mean,
Where
you
else
play
are
them in
playing
270. You can play them. You can play them in All-Star.
All-Star. Yeah.
Do you think that's taking teams away from it, like significantly?
I almost played my team in All-Star in 270. Yeah, very close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because in 270 you can win a star super
Star.
rare, and it's like it could be like a Yamal or an Mbappe or
And you win a
whatever.
box. And you win essence. You know, like.
Can we look at a page on Sorare data to see where super rare Messi is, like where people have played him? Impact players.
Yeah, he'll show you in there.
That's an interesting point. Because I wonder if
His
MLS
L15 might
super
be
rare will
too high, though.
easy. Will it be easier to do well in because everyone's put the better cards in All Star?
What's his
Well, I
L15 Messi? Yeah, 75. You're not playing him in 270 unless you've got a complete and utter smack, like really low other guy. Maybe.
Well, I've look at this. Since I've put in super rare All Star top cards that are impacting on it, 33 Wagner's, 29 Heels, 34 Joe Willis's. You think I had an MLS filter on it? There's 17 Messi's.
In
I
existence.
think I had an MLS filter, but I don't. I don't think I do anyway. Jesus. Is it just all MLS?
Yeah. That's it. That's the MLS. That's what it's called for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
So there's 17 Messis in there, and there's 29 in existence. So there's 12 elsewhere, basically.
Ah, yeah, good. Quick maths, Harry boy, saving the day there. So where is All Star? Oh, there it's there.
All-Star super rare.
Aye,
You could even go by position to make it easier. If it loads. Yeah,
Chiro Immobile. 6 Bambas in there. Bamba and David. I think they'll be stacked up together. That'll be fun.
Just gonna help my wife with the shopping, lads. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I bet you he's got a low L15 Bamba. I could be wrong, but I don't think he has a high one.
Yeah, I think it was
anyway,
38 or something. Because I've got
really.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, I was just thinking then. Yeah. By the way, funny story tonight. So Tovan was supposed to take a penalty. Luca nicked the ball off him, scored it, and his manager subbed him.
Luca.
Yeah, so he's on a flat 60. And he got subbed 36th minute. That's brilliant.
I don't think there was any Messi's in that All-Star, by the way. Wow, 7 Jordan Larsons and anti-stacks, 270 super rare. That's fun.
No, that's funny. Yeah, I wonder. I was thinking, can you play super as in unique? You can't, can you?
Nah, not anymore.
No, you can play them down though. You can play them down in rare.
But if you're playing your Messi down in rare, you've got something wrong with you, haven't you?
Yeah. Totes.
That's true.
You gotta have your head looked at, I think. But yeah, I wonder what's this, Quinny? 270 or All-Star?
This is 270 now. I went through All-Star.
Quinny, they're in season. They're in season.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
Of course.
The last place, yeah.
Yeah, anyone with a super in season keeper will be playing their Messi, probably. Let's have a look. In season.
Yeah, 17 for one of them. And then what's the other one?
Should be 12. 3, okay. So there's still 8 missing, 8 or 9 missing.
There might be some guys that just not played them. Like just
you can filter by name as well. Someone said in the chat.
Ooh, yeah. Interesting. This is fun. Did that update there for this? 1 in All-Star.
1. So there's still like 8 missing. Are they in 270? Another one.
See. I don't know if that's updated yet.
that percentage changed, or maybe it didn't.
Was it? No, maybe.
What?
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, it's one again.
So 6 people haven't bothered playing their Messi Superas. That's mad. If that's the case,
Argentina in season.
they could have played them down, obviously, like McBride said, but yeah,
That's funny, yeah.
it's weird. Yeah.
I wonder if you would it show you the super. It would show you the super, wouldn't it, in the rare league?
Yeah, it'd give you that little tick next to it. Yeah.
Interesting. Don't think actually proved the thing I was hoping it would have proved for anyone playing in MLS. That maybe it got easier with no Messi in town, but close, kinda. They're not all there. You're not playing against all of them.
Yeah, they're not all there, and like, yeah, I mean, super rare. Like, you do get a bit more sort of protection for your cards. There's no two ways about it. Like you don't like that Brentford thing. Like, I've got a Brentford stack in, and I can't come first or second. So, like, all right, like they're going to smash it and stuff, but I hate that. like, it's my own fault for playing a stack, obviously, but yeah, a bit of bad luck. Like a kind of captain.
And if all three of you get the same stack, or is it
the
just
same
they two
stack
get
and the same captain.
All three of you, yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Oh, wow.
same
I
division.
thought-
That's mad, that.
I thought they two were, and you were just behind them. Sorry, but these are all triplicates, yeah.
They
Wow.
were all the same stack, the same captain, same team, the whole like identical. And the thing is, as well, like I never run it from like Sorare data, whatever. Like, I just picked it myself. So it's like, so obviously everybody's thinking that's because usually a captain Damsgaard, like I wish I had, because then I could still have won, right? Whereas now I can't come first or second. So
Yeah.
I played Christopher Ayer, McBride. You should consider that a cardinal sin in this situation.
I know. Maybe I should have. That's the key mistake. But to be fair, if I podiumed with Brentford, then I would be well happy. But there's still a part of me that'd be annoyed that I never won. So I did only get that stack, like a stack or collection, like sort of 3.5 months into the season. So it kind of makes sense that I won't have the highest like XP because I never bought it at the start of the season. So like that's what it is, I suppose.
Freiburg on a ripper, by the way. Atabolu double decisive now with the clean sheet there. Grifo double decisive.
Yeah.
So Delia double decisive, but it's a Friday night curse for him.
Yeah, not the one you want.
My boy Lionheart, by the way, leading the way on a 56.
Nice.
That's fun. Nicholas Stark. Oh, your boy Young. Harry boy.
Yeah. My other lad, Friedel's out injured. The other centre half.
Is Friedel your lad? Oh, I thought it was Young.
Well,
It's Friedel, isn't it?
I've got Stark and Friedel somehow. Just random. I bought Friedel actually. I think I won. Yeah, I won Stark. Yeah. I don't know. I just does the super stuff in classic McBride make you a bit for MLS like optically it just don't make sense as to have Essence on the podium. Like, come on now. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, I think in the rare version and stuff, if you get 100 Essence, then that's really good. Because I think like people think that tier 3 is the optimal level, and you don't have to like go for that. But also, if you do, you're getting a minimum tier 3, and you're also getting a chance at a star or a tier 1 or a tier 2. So that's good. But like on the super rare side of things, like I just wish they would just put a wee bit of cash in there. Just give people the thought that going forward, like actually your cards do still have some value. And I know they do, because what they're trying to do, as far as I can see, they're trying to pump up the value of the in-season cards so that when you do get a card or whatever, it's worth something decent. But, you know, if you've got like 400 teams or whatever in that division and there's only 2 cards, like that's going to put people off, right? That's like the end season's pretty decent, I think. Like, I've not looked at the MLS, but if you look at Challenger, Contender, or whatever, it's one big division. And I was a bit surprised about the volume and the amount of teams, but they're paying out like sort of 30 or 40 places and you win like minimum of $70 or whatever. I just think, well, hit the frame. I'm getting a reasonable amount back, something that, a couple of those weeks you can pick up some European in-season super rares and stuff, so that's pretty good. But like 2 cards is just like, it's just comes across as stingy. But then it's a test, right, as well, because it's like, well, we're going to give out less cards, but we're going to make them higher quality. So would people prefer less cards and better quality, or more cards and that type of thing? So I would prefer more essence than a tier 3 rare or whatever, or even a tier 4 rare. I'd rather small amount essence, but it just seems a bit on the sort of stingy side. So
yeah, I was just looking then for challengers in season super rare. It's about a 10% payoff. I think me and Quinny looked earlier, didn't we, Quinny? Remember, it was like 250 entries and 25 places in MLS. This weekend there's about 50 entrants. Obviously, it's first week, so not everyone that would want to play can play yet in super rare, and they're paying out 15, so that obviously looks a bit better as a percentage right now. Obviously, that is only going to get worse, isn't it? More people are going to play as the weeks go on. But even if it's 150 entries, it'll still be 10%, wouldn't it, if they're still paying out 15 places, So I think 10% is the sweet spot they should aim for in most things, if we're talking like actual cash or cards, and then the essence stuff. Yeah. I think that then comes into especially the smaller bits of essence. You're looking at the top 20 or the top 25 or what, That's probably the realms they want to be hitting, I think.
Like card rewards now are only going to be good ones. Like that's one thing I thought when I seen this. Obviously, you had the podcast with them and put the question to them, Harry Boy. But it means if you see someone opening a card on the timeline, it's a tier 1 or a star. There's no kind of just a crap random tier 3 or something like that. Or I wonder if it's a random guy that shouldn't have been there. It's always going to be so they're kind of controlling the output a little bit there, I suppose. I think all the essence, I was kind of thinking when we were looking at it, like I might go back to saving essence again, because there's no boxes. And I was going to throw this to you since you came in. If you had any boxes on the shelf still, but now there's no boxes, you don't get to hold any of your boxes anymore and go right. I'll open the champ ones together, and then do that essence on the one go. All the essence is just going to come at us now every week.
Yeah, that's interesting actually, isn't it? Because if you get 100 let's say you do get 100 essence from MLS, and you're like, right, I want to claim that. I want nothing. Claim that. Craft that tier 3. Then take the next. But now it's going to be like, here's everything, and you're going to be like, oh, great. Now I've got challenger, contender, maybe a bit of Bundesliga, and then a large chunk of MLS, and it's going to be like, yeah, that's a bit savage, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's going to be harder to control, I think. But
yeah, it's for me personally, it's been one of those defining moments now. I had 77 lineups this week, and it was a ball ache. A lot of crap lineups. Don't get me wrong, a lot of absolute shite, but it was a ball ache. Especially contender and challenger and stuff. And I'm like, I would do better to just have MLS and champ, and that's it. You still get the full calendar year of playing so rare. It's a lot easier to manage, and when champ specifically is gone, I only get MLS essence. When MLS is gone, I only get champ essence. I'm not diluting the pool, and it's a lot easier to manage. So I've been thinking about that a lot, just to speak to a trader and be like, look, every single piece in my gallery that is not champ or MLS, tell me what you'll give me for it.
I could see that. Yeah. I kind of did a similar thing in some ways. I've kind of just got champ rares and super rares and Celtic stuff on the side, and then MLS I just couldn't sell it because it was too expensive in the first place. I'm like, well, I'm just going to die with these ones, and they've had a wee bounce and whatever. But no, I get that. Because I think as well for the essence control, it's quite an important strategy point for cards you value or cards you're trying to yield from. Pulling guys out of contender or challenger or any other region you want to think about. If it's not your boat or you don't think there's value there, then you don't want to poison the water, do you?
It's not that I don't think there's value there. I think I've won enough in the in-season comps. My first week with the Rangers Celtic split stack, I came first in a division and won more than I paid. So there's value there in terms of the cash rewards. I just don't want the essence to dilute the pool. And it's another one I've spoken to Sorare about it a few times and been like, guys, I think you will deter people from playing those lesser comps where there's, let's say you've got a massive champ gallery and you've got, I don't know, an ETH or two floating around where you're like, okay, I could go into somewhere else. But you're like, actually, I don't want to because it's just going to really hamper my champ essence setup. So I just would rather not to completely. Whereas if they let you segregate the essence, if you wanted to pull it all in together because you're a D-gen and you've got a bit of a mix and you're like, whatever, let's just see what I get, you can. But if you want to keep it separate, you also can. I think that would be the best way forwards. But they're paranoid, I think, about people just harvesting just Prem essence and just taking Prem star after Prem star after Prem star. And I think how many people are really going to have the kind of like facilities to do that week in, week out? Not many, that's for sure.
Or even if you just said, like, if you've got over a certain percentage for that division, then the rest goes neutral. You know, like you've got 10% contender, but you've got all your EPL, you just can't win a contender because it's like becomes neutral because you've just dabbled in contender, but you're an EPL player or whatever. Just set like some sort of threshold. That's the wrong word, isn't it? How do I say that? Just set like a percentage there and just say, like, you know, we're not going to discourage you from playing that other division. I mean, mine's is a riot. Like, mine's is like, I've got a bit of everything, so every time I craft something, it could come from anywhere. So it's just like I don't really care. But like, I get your point. Like, you want to play certain regions, so like, it's putting you off.
Yeah,
like,
I got a mad high serial today. I did a 20 essence craft, and I got a huge hit. It was like serial 84, and I'm like, Jesus, this is going to be some player. It was a tier 5 DMP. I'm like, how the fuck is there 84 of this guy? Who is this? Like, and then I did a few MLS crafts from Limited, and I'm like, you don't want the extremely low serials now because you know that they're like gone. But I got one that was like serial number 18 or something, and I was like, okay, this guy could be all right. I got a few like playable cards, and I got a few like. What's fun about the 20 essence crafts in the MLS right now is if there's a new player to the league that you know is going to be a smasher, but the game doesn't register that it's not a tier 5 anymore, you end up picking up like some quality. So I've got a guy at rare level that's going to be starting for who are LAFC playing?
Minnesota. I think.
Yeah, Minnesota. So he's a new guy at Minnesota, one of their midfielders. And I got him out of a 20 essence rare craft, and he's down as a tier 5 because he's played like 3 games in the last 60 wherever he was before. But he's like guaranteed starter at Minnesota apparently. So I'm like, that's like fully legit. Like, you know, give it a few weeks, he pops off a banger, sell him on, make some good money, or know me, buy a few more pieces of crap, put them around him, and hope to hit the hot streak every now and then with him. You know.
It'll definitely be the latter, won't it?
Yeah. Oh man, the amount of guys in my gallery now that, like, you know, Asia's back and stuff like that. When I'm building my contender lineups now, and I'm like, Cecinia's back, Gustavo is back, and like all these players, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, like why have I held on to these guys first of all? But then I'm like, I'm building some like pretty crazy lineups, and again, like, you know, transfer windows. I don't follow the kind of like Asia transfer windows anymore. So to see some of the players like Davidson's back in China, I'm like, fucking brilliant, let's go. You know, like all of a sudden, like it was worth hanging on to him for that. You know, he was in China, I could have sold him for about 3 ETH. He went to Europe, couldn't have sold him for £3. He's back in China again now. I'm like, right, this is Davidson's season. Let me sell him. And then I'm like, right, who's his first opponent? Okay, they're the worst team in the league. Let me hold him for now. Let him get a good few 100 points, you know.
Oh, you build that L5 up before you list them.
Yeah,
an L5.
Let people recognize that he's back in China. But the problem is now there's been like another sort of like 70 mints of him at rare. So one of the great things about him is he was extremely rare as a rare card. He's not anymore. So yeah,
the Kamada effect. I think of that as.
Is that right? Yeah.
I don't know if you maybe a wee bit before you. No, you'd have been around for him. But I had Daichi Kamada for ages when he played for. He got a Belgian card, and there was only like 6 of them, and he was like good at Frankfurt. He was like good at Frankfurt for ages before the Bundesliga actually came on, and it was like I just loved that card so much because there was only 6 of them, and he was like, it was all right. It wasn't amazing, you know, but when he banged a decent enough score once in a while. So yeah, I miss those ones. They're nice when they come along. James Rodriguez has got a wee bit of that going on.
Oh, he's only got it, isn't he?
Yeah, he only got cards for 5 minutes and then he's away again. So I'm so glad
the strangest player, man. When he burst onto the scene in that World Cup year, when he hit that volley, I just thought like he's going to be so insane, and he was, to be fair. And he had like little pockets of like, even at Bayern, I think he won them the title a couple of years ago with his contributions towards the back end of the season. Like he was absolutely insane for them. And then he went to Real Madrid, or he might have been at Real Madrid. And you see these games, and you're like, he might genuinely be like the best player on earth. but 1 out of every 12 games. Do you know what I mean? And the other 11 games, he's either injured, doesn't give a shit, or just plays shit. And you're like, if you could just deliver that top performance every single game, you'd be amazing. And you see that in like, when you look at like some of the Premier League players, sometimes I sit there and I think, how are you actually a Premier League player? Right? Like some of the players that play for like West Ham or Crystal Palace and stuff, you're like, you are genuinely bang average as a football player, but you just play bang average all the time, which is perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like teams don't want these guys that like up here one day and down here the next. Like teams want Mr. Reliable. And I'm like, there's probably some players in like Division 1, Division 2, Championship that would do an insane job in the Prem, but they just never get the opportunity. And why would you take the risk? But yeah, I don't know, man. James Rodriguez, he's having that pocket again right now where you're like, okay, he's in Mexico, but still, you're like, he's delivering. And when you look at his age, he's like, what, 33 or something? Like, he's still young, like, respective to the footballing world these days. I'd love to see him back in Europe. Like, when he was at Everton, he had a good, like, 3 or 4 games there where I was like, okay, he's back, right? He's back. He's going to go to another big club again and deliver. And he just doesn't. He just falls off the face of the earth again.
It's like, how many chances do you give someone like that? Do you know what I mean? Like, you obviously run out of legs eventually. Like, you can't just keep running. But, like, yeah, it is a funny one with him. He always seems to just light it up early on, and then it's just like, falls away.
Cements his contract. Make sure his paycheck is like all right, and then he's like, yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Couple of goal bonuses, couple of assists. That's enough for me in Merseyside. I'll chill for a year or so.
Falls out with the local birds and needs to move.
Yeah, it might be that. Yeah.
You gotta be a bit of a boy.
So, Nep, sorry, do you have any boxes left, or have you opened them all now?
Mate, I ripped them all, mate. I had that whole, like, you know, I bought probably like 60 players altogether and got like 2 cards. Don't get me wrong, they weren't good players. It was like for me, it's collection pieces. I went and bought collections, and because of the way the new collection setup works, I went and got 2 Hugo Llorises at limited and stuff because I'm like, I'll get the same bonus off of him now. So I thought, you know what, if LAFC do keep a clean sheet, I want all 3 of my teams to rip. So I'm probably just gonna go 3 LAFC stacks and just kind of like tweak them between the star players in the positions. And if they have one week where they absolutely smash, I will be podium 1, 2, and 3.
Mate, I was thinking about you when I built my teams this game week. Harry might remember the deadline show. Did you see it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I did watch the deadline show, except I had to rewind because you said something about when you was looking at Bayern. No, when you was looking at Sporting, Gyökeres is playing, but Trincao wasn't. And I'd heard it in my ear whilst I was recording. So I rewinded 10 minutes. And by the time I got to the 3 p.m. lock, I fast forwarded and you'd already finished. So I didn't watch last bit.
Oh, that's okay. But I've got 2 identical teams here.
Yeah, I love that.
I thought Nep would be happy with this.
Mate, because if they pop off genuinely, you are 1 and 2. What better feeling than being 1 and 2? Like those people that do it like unique and super rare, there's about 7 of you in a division. It doesn't count. When you do it rare or limited, that's where it's at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cheeky Keylor Navas in there as well. Gotta love that.
Yeah, no, that's the kind of that's the alt squad. So I've got 2 Celtic, obviously died in the same fucking squad, and I thought I'll do one that's nothing to do with it, you know, in classic, just to hedge it in case it dies. But I don't think it will. But you never know with Celtic. There's always random rotations. But I had a good bit of fun as well. So you were saying about the multiple Llorises.
Yeah.
With the new thing, I managed to get a classic Sean Johnson for 30 quid, and that NYC collection I've got, it's got 5% on it.
Yeah.
Already.
So you got 2 of him now on it.
And
yeah, love that.
I'll go and get a 3rd one. But the thing is, I've got a problem because whenever I look at Sean Johnson's now,
he's shit, isn't he?
It's like,
that's his problem.
I'm a big fan. I think he'll turn it around. His form's minging. But the one I want, there's never on sale. That's my problem. It's all these other ones.
So you should check if he's in dead accounts and just like send a little offer in, because if they get email pop notification, they'll be like, oh, I forgot about Sorare. What's this? Somebody's offering me like 30 quid for his cards. Yeah, I'll take that.
A wee bit of grave digging. I might do that.
There you go. Why not?
I'd look at it and go, I paid 200 quid for that, and then they just chuck the phone at the wall.
I was looking at like, because obviously like Lloris isn't getting any younger, right? It's 38 now. And I was thinking to myself, like, I don't know out of Ochoa or Hassal who's going to be the number one. Like, when I joined the site, Hassal was like the next big thing in the MLS. And I bought a fair few of him, even super rare. and just lost my shirt on him. Yeah, because he was bad. And then last season he didn't have a club for like most of the year. LAFC picked him up, so I don't know which one's going to be the one. But they're so cheap, both limited and rare. I'm like, imagine if I just went and bought bought the market share of them, bought like 15 or 20 of them at rare level and like 100 or 200 at limited level. Because if one of them becomes the keeper, if Lloris gets injured or suspended this season at all, they are going to bang in price. Like that could be fun. That could be really fun. And if Lloris gets let's say he gets a long-term injury, I'll have like 15 Hassals at like 12.5%. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just like, nice. Like no one can beat me now.
I love that strategy. I think it's more exciting, but if you can find some of those goalkeepers that are kind of on a shaky peg anyway, rather than somebody like Lloris who you're just kind of praying gets fucked for a while, or something. Yeah. Because he's always going to be number one, isn't he? So
he will be, yeah.
But there's a few ones that are maybe like, I know Steve Clark and all the rest of it are kind of legends, but some of these MLS keepers are minging. Like,
Clark retired. Did you see that?
Oh, is he actually retired?
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he's done. No way. Yeah, Tarbell's going to be the goalkeeper now for Dynamo. Mate, they're going to be so bad this year. They've lost so many good players. Mikhail's gone. Clark's gone. Hector Herrera's gone. Apparently he was a bit of a off the field dickhead. Wasn't good for the dressing room and stuff. So even though he was good on the field, they literally sold him because he wasn't great for the dressing room. Wow. But they finally signed a reasonable striker I was seeing today. So that's what they was missing last 2 years. They just didn't have a quality striker. Now they've got a quality striker. They've lost the rest of their team. So yeah, a bit of
not be creating any chances for the striker.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They've gone. McGlynn's probably the only one that can do a bit of that. They bought him from Philly.
Yeah.
Old Jack McGlynn, good player.
I've always been a bit of a Houston hater anyway, so if they're kind of falling apart, it's not much. But I think Steve Clark was a legend, but it's even generally the standard of MLS keepers, like some of these guys, they're not great, even Tarbo being the guy now, maybe who's back up to Tarbo, because he's maybe not, I know he's number one, right, but wouldn't rule out somebody rising from the bench to take the job.
Yeah, he was good when he felt like Steve Clark. I mean, listen, Steve Clark made every excuse under the sun to not play. He had a baby one time. Then he had he had a dislocated finger or something one time. And then he had something with his shoulder blade one time. And I'm like, there was one game, he literally went to catch the ball, slammed into the post, and he was out for 4 games. And it turns out it was concussion protocol for 4 games. It's 10 days for concussion protocol. And he's just I'm just certain he was like, guys, I need a new tattoo, right? So I'm out for a few weeks because I can't play with a tattoo like this. I'll be all right. And every time Tarbell filled in, I thought, Steve Clark's not getting the job back because Tarbell was solid. But Clark came back and immediately got straight back into the team. And I was like, either he's got something on the manager or he's must be good. But Steve Clark's problem was just too short, wasn't he? He was a liability because he was so short. Everything went over his head. It makes me think about Guzman as well from the League MX. That he'll be 50 and he'll still be their starting goalkeeper if he wants. He has done everything wrong and he just walks straight back into the team. Imagine shining a pen in the eye of the opposition goalkeeper whilst he's trying to save a penalty, getting a 10-match ban and immediately just walking straight. That would be me. I'll be like, mate, you're done, right? You can't be doing that sort of stuff. But no, they're like, yeah, come on back. You're straight back in.
You're a hero.
Yeah, you're the guy. The fans love you. He actually cost them the title, Guzman, because he came out for a last man tackle and just 2-foot lunged the guy instead because he missed the ball, and that was it.
Ouch.
Minutes away from that Brentford clean sheet bonus kicking in.
Ooh.
Ban Brentford stacks.
I don't know. When I'm looking at the total points there, I'm like, other than Burmo, no one's in dark green. There's only 3 in the the lighter green. It's not obviously when the clean sheet kicks in, it'll be a bit different, but it's not looking like
440 without the clean sheet.
Yeah, it's not bad. Is that limited?
No, rare.
You get 10% bonus now, don't you, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose it depends what happens. So don't jinx it.
No. I've had enough Friday night curse, I think, already with one or two of them. I think I'm seeing that Berardi's leaving the night without a decisive. It's a wee bummer for me.
Do you want my goalkeeper tip, Quinny?
Let's hear it.
I've been buying Brian Dowd at Chicago. So Big Brady, I mean, his score's not really been that good, but I think like they've churned out a lot of goalkeepers, right? So Slonina went and things, and I think like there'll be some eyes on there. So Dowd's meant to be pretty good. So I think like obviously he's a backup, right? So just hoping like somebody just comes and buys Brady, or it doesn't have to be an injury, right? It's like
Get some jawline, doesn't he?
I bought his rare today for £8. Oh, that's me at the top end right there. Scroll back down to the. Yeah, that's me right there, mate. Yeah, £8 because he was a starter, wasn't he, for a while, or at least somewhere he was getting some games.
Yeah, I think I can't remember if he was playing for one of the USL teams or something. I can't remember.
Okay.
I've already got I think I've got 11 rares or something already.
Jesus.
I'm not having any in seasons, but back to my sort of rare strategy. I mean, under 23s, like Harry, you're the guy to comment on this, but the under 23s just doesn't really seem to be as good these days. It's a weird one because I thought because we have divisions, because you could win a Bellingham or a Yamal with classic cards, it'd be pretty good. But I think because there's no cash, it just seems like people's last pick or last focus. So there's no under 23 goalkeeper real premium. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe Chevalier and Trubin before he was just fucking everything up. But I don't know. It's just I just don't even really want to play it anymore. It's just a weird feeling.
I used to prioritize under 23 a lot. And now it is enough. If I've got a spare goalkeeper and they happen to be under 23, I'll put a team in. Otherwise, I couldn't care less. I might start using it as XP. You know what I mean? Just run them in at the lower division and just put my outfielders in to get some XP on them.
For me, Brady's a better keeper than Sonina. Having watched them both at Chicago, Brady's unreal. He's younger than the kid you're on about, by the way, which is mad. He's younger than that Dowd kid.
I was just thinking, the angle there is people think, oh, he's really good, and then don't buy the backup. But if he's really good, then he's more likely to get transferred.
So, 100%. Someone in Europe will come and get him. If people after Matt Freeze, Brady's 5 years younger and bigger and better. Just doesn't play on a good team, basically. So his stats won't look that good, but Brady will be off to Europe in the next year, I would say, especially under Greg as well. You'll get him right into gear defensively compared to last year. And like you said, whoever the backup is, they will be playing games of football if he's not there, right? So, it's fucking good, really good strategy. It's just mad how young he is, 20 still.
Yeah.
And Slonina was mad young when he got in as well.
Yeah, but they're both the exact same age. They both came through from they're 8 years old.
Brady was a year older. That's mad.
Both 20 on the dot. Yeah. Both 20.
And they were competing against each other, you're saying, since 8 or 10 or something?
Yeah, since the dawn of time type of thing. Yeah. Imagine having two kids that could go and be worth a couple mil each in the same position. You can only play one of them. That's brutal. Do you know what I mean? It must be very hard to keep those two both happy. Obviously, one ends up going, but
Brady probably looked at Slonina as well, and thought, oh, he's got his move to Europe, and I'll get my chance, and that kind of keeps him going.
Definitely.
You think seeing a situation like that? I just think the first thing I started thinking about there was see as a coach, you're maybe under a little bit of pressure with that one, because if two guys are almost the exact same, how many people's default reactions to pick the guy with a cool name? You know what I mean?
A decent looking mum. Too easy. Too easy.
Pick the guy with a funny name, he'll be all right.
Mate, Freiburg are 5-0 up and Doan scored 100.
5?
Yeah. It's Doan and Griffo's season.
That's what it is. Full time.
Yep. Full time.
Oh, yeah, Ritsu. I don't think he was on any decisives last time we checked that. Yeah, he got the last 2 goals. Yeah, Nicholas Beste with an assist off the bench.
He's quality, isn't he? Even at Heidenheim in Bundesliga 2 last season, he was, or the season before, when him and Kleindienst just tore it up, man. They were good. And now they're both doing good as well. Kleindienst is like, he's solid. He's obviously got his German national call as well. Like for a 29-year-old striker, you don't see that very often, do you?
No.
You got a defender card at Benfica as well, so that's kind of interesting to look at. Because if he goes back to playing like as a sort of left winger or whatever again, that could be really good.
Yeah, that could be like a really good stack, isn't it? With guys like Griffo in midfield positions and whatever. Having a best
Griffo's a banger, isn't he? Griffo's always a good scorer. It's like him and Mittelstadt as well. You don't see him in many D1 teams, but he's someone I think I'll be looking towards buying for the back end of the season because he's reasonably cheap and he's just an absolute, like they can concede 10 goals and they'll still hit 70 points. Like,
aye, he scored a really good goal. Or he made a really good assist in a Champions League game. I think I watched.
Look at those scores. That is insane.
Yeah,
it's not quite like Jordi Alba, Grimaldo, Hakimi level, but it's just below that.
Like, I don't know how many games we're looking at here, but he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 games that you'll be raging about.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, you're rubbing your hands together, eh?
Oh, Penn Celta Vigo. Let's hope Aspas takes it.
He's
just come on the field, mate. I need him. Need him to score a fucking goal.
The keeper's on 100.
Yeah.
Quinny, Starfelt, last man tackle.
Yeah, I love that. He's my captain. He is.
Oh, bro.
On the cow.
You know what I think? Like, this may be a controversial take. If a goalkeeper gets 2 positive decisives in a game, it should be an automatic 100 points. Because a set like a clean sheet in itself is so hard to the point if they get a second positive DA, like
or maybe
they've had an insane like it needs to be worth more than 10 points that second DA. Like
it seems if the sort of second one's a bit watered down, right? It's like,
like when Ederson got that assist, he was up at like 70 points. I'm like, that clean sheet's only going to take him to like 80 points. I'm like, who gives a shit now? Concede, I don't care. Like,
Joe, what I think Sorare should do as well, right? I think they should put aside like a rolling jackpot for somebody that gets 5 100s. So like, just say we'll put aside like, I don't know, a certain amount per week or whatever, like $50 or something, because it'll just build up, but like just a rolling jackpot so that eventually when someone hits the perfect 5 100 like core scores, they win whatever the jackpot is, and just keep it building up. Like,
haven't we only seen that once as well, like a year or so ago? Some guy in limited hit the 5 100s.
Did he? I didn't even think it. I didn't think it happened ever. But if it has, then it's only been once. Right?
One time I remember it. Yeah.
Just add like every game week, add $50 into the pot. Just for every division, somebody hits a perfect score, they win the whole pot.
It's not quite the 500. That's kind of what they're doing in Super Rare anyway, isn't it? But the kind of rolling jackpot vibe.
You just need to hit 120 each with the super bonus.
Mate, these Celta Vigo midfielders are just garbage, man. No matter who I choose, they're just always shit. Sotelo's terrible, Mariba's terrible, Fran Beltran is terrible. I've got Alonso and Mingueza in the same in-season team with Alonso as captain.
Nice.
And three more to play outside of that. I think it's a good one. I've got Heung-min Son against Ipswich, Tonali at home to Forest, and then I've got Ramsdale in as the keeper. And it's like, I like keepers like Ramsdale because, I fully appreciate every now and then he's going to hit me with like a 5-pointer or a 10-point game, but he's also going to hit like a 70, 80, 90-point game if they keep a clean sheet. So I'm kind of hoping for that side of things.
When was the last time we kept a clean sheet?
Mate, that'll be a fair while away. Against Fulham. Game week 37 against Fulham. It's one of those ones where it's like, as long as they don't concede 3, he'll do good.
I'll do well, yeah.
If they can keep a clean sheet, he'll do great. But if they drop 3, he's getting the orange and red scores.
Yeah.
Just got the most random double DA. Connor Roberts scores from a Jaden Anthony assist. I got him in the same lineup.
Wow.
I mean, they play on the same team, obviously, but like, yeah. Go on, Connor Rob.
That is a weird one. Left winger to right back.
Yeah. Very strange.
Fair play, all the same.
Oh, Edward's gone to Burnley, has he?
I seen Trafford's deal to Newcastle is like firming up.
Yeah.
I've seen some reports of that in the timeline today or yesterday. I forget when, but
To be fair,
How many
though,
clean sheets in a row has he had now? Is that like 13 or something?
yeah, 12 or 13. But when he was in the Prem for Burnley last season, he was garbage, wasn't he? Like, he got dropped like within about 5 games. Hey, look at those scores. That's insane.
so
Reminds me of Jose Caro.
That's him in the Prem.
Yeah, awful. To be fair, like Burnley weren't great either, mind you, but
And then I'm trying to take that off. There we go.
my favorite goalkeeper streak is Jose Caro.
Yeah.
Mate, his
Okay.
mate, I bought him for so much money, and then he just doesn't do it. He's backup goalkeeper for Cadiz now.
Oh, what? That's
Yeah.
a weighty.
Absolute nightmare.
2 seconds.
Yeah, Starfelt's a banger, isn't he? I had him in an elite lineup about 4 or 5. When was it? Yeah, 3 weeks ago, game week 52. And no, that's not true because that was yellow card suspension. Game week 45, and I had him with. I thought this will be fun because he scored so well. Let me put him with like my Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Jude Bellingham, and Courtois. I was like, he'll be the difference maker because Real Madrid's defenders don't really score very well, or in fact, none of La Ligas do. So I was like, this is like genius plays. Like even if he gets 60 or 70, he's just going to be like banging for me. Just sits on the bench the whole game. I was like, you motherfucker. Like, I literally, I didn't get relegated. I think I still got a box. But if he had played, I would have won the whole division. And I'm like literally fuming. And then, yeah, he comes back and he's banging again. He loves the decisive, doesn't he?
Yeah, La Liga's like that, isn't it? Like Barcelona just don't keep clean sheets.
Yeah.
And like Real Madrid don't have any defenders that are fit. So it's like wild.
Yeah.
It's like really
It's
wild.
a tough one. Starfelt was in and out. It was maddening at times because he was scoring really well, and then he would just randomly DNP. That happened a few times. Killed me once or twice myself.
Was that at Celtic, was it?
No, Celta Vigo.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, he got some random DNPs out of nowhere. Even on games of like having random decisive after random decisive, and then he would just randomly get dropped once in a while. But I think this manager they've got there now, he seems to play quite a lot.
Is he a new manager recently? Is it?
They've changed manager quite a lot over the last year and a half, I think.
They sent, I think, like 5 players out to the MLS in the January transfer window.
Yeah. I was quite surprised that Allende guy went to Miami. He must have a good agent.
Is he good?
I
No.
didn't see him do anything. No, barely heard of him, to be honest with you. But yeah, they made a few transfers. Like De La Torre went to San Diego and
Yeah.
Bamba, obviously, and 1 or 2. So I never really noticed that detail, actually. Good spot now. Celta Vigo collection, could have been an MLS collection.
Mate, bang for me. I actually had, because I have De La Torre, Bamba, and the Miami guy. But I was like, after the first game for the guy that went to Miami, I bought somebody else. I went and bought what's that guy? The other guy at Chicago Fire.
Zinkernackle.
Yeah, bought him instead because I was like, I'm not trusting some rando dude in Miami. Like, I'm not doing that. But
I think Zinkernackle will be quite good.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, apparently he was taking sets or something in preseason and whatnot. So yeah, I thought he could be quite good.
Yeah.
So like, it's hard to imagine Chicago not being shite because they've been so shite for so long.
Really bad, yeah.
But the manager's the big thing, and then obviously some of the players I've got in are pretty decent. But it's a weird one. I remember like over the last couple of years on Sorare, especially like Philly have been good, and like I watched MLS like before Sorare as well, and Philly were always like terrible. See the way like San Jose have been to anyone that's been on MLS. Like Philly used to be in that category for ages. The Revs were kind of not far off it for the most part. And Chicago has always been in that category for me as well, where they're just perennially like crap, and there's always something going wrong. They're sacking a manager. They bought a guy that's too expensive. It doesn't ever play or whatever. So it's just going to be weird that Chicago have got Berhalter as manager. They've went and got Bamba, and things are actually in working order for them. Because even when they got Schweinsteiger way back when, I don't know, maybe he wouldn't have caught it back then, but like when he showed up, he couldn't believe it. He's like, well, why did I do this? Because they were so terrible.
You see a lot in the MLS, though, don't you? Like teams go from being like insane to terrible, and the reverse, literally in one season to the next. That your current boy, the ex-Arsenal player Austin Trusty, I found him through Colorado Rapids. They were awful that season. They were the worst team, man. But he kept putting up like 60s and like 70s here and there. So when he went back to Arsenal, I think he actually got a cup game for us, like before he went out on loan to Birmingham or whatever. I was like, he's got no chance. When he went to Celtic, I was like, why the hell are they signing him? He couldn't even cut it in the MLS. And he's banging for you. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, as he's doing all right.
I think when he came through in the MLS, it was actually scoring pretty solid. But I was surprised when he went to Arsenal. But then it was like never going to be like getting in the first team or whatever. So
yeah, well, he was from our academy though. We'd loaned him out like a couple of times to Colorado Rapids, and then we loaned him out. I think it was to Birmingham, and then I think we sold him to you guys for
Sheffield as well, wasn't it?
Oh, was it Sheffield as well? Was it?
Played in the Champ, yeah, for Sheffield. Sorry, he played in the Prem for Sheffield. I only know that because I was listening to a MLS podcast, and actually it was open goal, Quinny. I know you don't like him, but they had
I just bored it.
No. They had he played with him at the Rapids. What's the Danny Wilson?
Oh yeah.
They had Danny Wilson on. Him and Trusty played together at the Rapids. He was just sort of talking about him and that. Trusty almost went to Rangers a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Danny Wilson was all right that year. I had his big head card.
Yeah.
So Arsenal bought Trusty and then loaned him back. So he came through at Rapids. Because at that point, he was like, because he was still under 23 at that point as well. That was like probably the first season that MLS come on, Sorare.
Big heads.
Yeah, because there was like Trusty, Miles Robinson, Mark McKenzie, George Campbell. There was a bunch of like MLS like athlete centre backs that were all kind of like who could make it.
Yeah, literally.
I've had two Madrid. I class myself as an athlete tonight.
A Madrid. I've butchered that. But
Reams have 2 red cards now.
Yes, man.
Against Rent.
The guy that I got from I crafted a guy today, and it was one of the players from Reims, and Tangana Edoa, and I put him into a lineup, and he didn't start, and then it went down to 10 men. I was like, well, that's it, I'm fucked. But he's come on the field and he's got a double, and he's doing right. So I'm like, solid as.
We'll take that.
Is this a Tanga guy? Sorry.
Yeah, him. Yeah. What a name, by the way.
Yeah.
Can't believe Burnley are just churning.
Yeah, if he can, he's on for it. He's on for it. A few minutes left, but
interception. Sorry.
Damsgaard subbed at the 72nd minute.
Oh, Damsgaard nerfed
on a 79.1 and Buemo on a 86.6.
Look at that.
He'll be picked up by a big team, won't he, in the summer?
Yeah, he's too good, isn't he? He's real good.
Can he keep a good man down, Steve Mandanda,
Fucking Marcos Alonso on 100 points. Let's go. We love to see that.
GG's. So he is.
Yeah, well, and Mingueza, 88.
I'll show you my screen just to show these.
Of course, yeah.
These little ones that I've got going on here.
The Osasuna keeper is still on 90 with losing the clean sheet.
Yeah, man, he's having a cracking game.
That guy.
There you go. There's one lineup. Mate, if Son had a knock, but like Ange said, like he'll be fine. If he gets rested against Ipswich because they're expected to win, I'll be fuming because we're now in a real good spot in this division.
Yeah, that's a really good spot.
Mate, Sotelo and Carrera doing bad, but Starfelt banging, Aspas off scoring. These are my good starts. Now, like whenever I look at this, I'm like, fuck, why didn't I put those in like a priority lineup? 2 absolute slappers in a dead lineup.
Yeah. I'm worried Brighton do some damage to the old Rammers.
Yeah, like I said, if he doesn't concede 3, we're good. Yeah, if he keeps clean sheet, we're great. But even if he concedes 3, he could still put up like 30 or 40 points, and that'd be okay. Like I'm projected 13th right now, and his L15 is 37. Like you know what I mean? It's like he
You just
doesn't
don't need
need
him to
to do
do
much.
0.
yeah. As long as he doesn't get a negative decisive, we're absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Although saying that, 9 minutes for Celta Vigo to still ruin my day and drop like 2 goals and Alonso red card and Mingueza error led to goal, and it all just goes fucking tumbling down, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, La Liga can do that to you.
Mate, it can. There was a game. Oh man, it was some while ago now, and it was like the 93rd minute, and it was 1-0 to a team, and I had my goalkeeper, and I was like, nice. He was on like 50 points. I was like clicked it off on Sorare, like walked out my office. It's like, you know, worst case scenario, he finishes on like 47 points if he concedes one more. Came back like 8 minutes later, they're 4-0 down, and he's got an error led to goal, and he's on 0 points. And I'm like, how has this happened? In like 7 in-game minutes, he dropped 3 goals and an error led to goal, ruined my whole day, man. It wasn't in a priority lineup or anything, but it's just like when you get a lineup that starts well, even if it's in a bad division or whatever, you're just like, oh, this could be something, because you don't mind winning like a Division 4 or Division 3 and taking home a couple £100 or whatever, do you? Like, it's all right.
Those car crash feelings are the worst, Dave, when you think you're onto something and then it just gets taken away from you, especially on a Friday night, perhaps. Let's hope Celta Vigo see it out in the next 8 minutes. But there's been a wee bit of carnage for some other folk out there. Berardi's finished the game on a 50. Bummer.
Aspas big chance missed from Carrera. They're both in the same lineup. God damn it. Aspas is a funny one as well, isn't he? He's old. He's so old, but he just delivers. And he's one of those players that I didn't buy him, and I didn't buy him, and I didn't buy him, and then I bought him, and then he was out for like 7 games in a row because he got a shin injury. I'm like, this is just, it's literally typical me. I don't know how. I don't know if you guys feel like it as well when you buy or sell players and they just either go off when you've sold them or just go bad when you buy them. I'm like, how does the universe know? Like, it's not even like, if it was like 1 out of 10 players, I'd be like, oh, that's a bit unlucky, isn't it? But it's like every other player. I'm like, what is happening, man? Like, I bought Lionel Messi for the first time ever, and he's like gets his injury and is out for like a month and a half. I'm like, now I've bought £500 Messi. By the time he comes back from his injury, he's worth about £200. I could have just saved myself the trouble.
There's nothing worse. I'm the exact same boat with Aspas. For the amount of Celta Vigo I've watched, to not have an Aspas card at this point feels pretty criminal thinking about it. But I did the same thing this off-season with Borja Mayoral. Same kind of vibes where I've just watched so much Getafe. It's just crazy that I've not had one for the form he can hit. And he's only now just got back into the team after an injury and trying to force a transfer in the summer. So, yeah, you're damned if you do sometimes with these guys, aren't you? But guys like that have you know, they weren't just a wee flash in the pan. You know, it's like, oh, he's the main guy in the team, or he takes all the sets or whatever. If you can hang in there, you know, they'll have their wee moment to come in. And you know, I had a big one. I wonder if you know this guy on the deadline show. It may have been on, depending when you caught it, but I couldn't believe when I seen Oscar Ustari was the goalkeeper.
Yeah, you
for
said the
Inter
goalkeeper.
Miami.
You said he was like the youth player like 20 years ago and champ manager. Like,
did you remember his name at all? Did you know him?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I do. Yeah. We're a bit of the older crowd, aren't we? So, I do remember him. Yeah, he's kicking about still, isn't he? He's back in the MLS now, isn't he?
Yeah, Inter Miami keeper for this weekend.
Is he?
Calendar out of the lineup. He's 39. He's like the
actually
most expensive rare than now, or the third most expensive or something. It's crazy.
Jesus.
And
I've been burnt too many times buying really old goalkeepers that then like retire or whatever. So or just get dropped or get injured or whatever. So I've given up. And I was looking at Lloris. I was like, I really shouldn't buy him because he's 38. But then I thought, okay, let's use this as a opportunity to go and buy the backups, get a good few of them, so that I've got enough for me when they get in and enough to sell when they get in. So that's kind of the play. But yeah, I'm sick to death of old goalkeepers.
I've got too many Joe Harts and I've had too many David Marshalls.
Well, David Marshall was another one that burnt me, that's for sure.
I've still got a Craig Gordon.
Who have I got now? Scott Carson. I've got a fair few of him at the moment.
That's just a meme. Bonafide training card. I'm quite conscious of the time, guys, as well. We've been on for about 2 hours or so. So I'm just going to end the stream. So thanks to everyone that's been in the live chat. The live chat's been on fire as well. Thanks again to McBride, Nep, Harry Boy for coming and joining me on a Friday night. But it's been good banter, good buzz. Had a great time.
Been fun.
Come on, the hoops. Oh, that's the wrong one.
Anyway, have a good weekend, everyone, and we'll see you soon.